You're listening to the Impact Warrior Podcast. This podcast was created out of a vision to have like-minded entrepreneurs who have faced similar battles and understand how difficult entrepreneurship can be. We will feature guests who are here to share with you how rewarding the journey can be if you stay focused and disciplined to achieve the desires of your heart. Every business owner will face a certain level of difficulty at some point, regardless of the industry. And we are here to share with you the story of warriors who have knocked down massive walls to inspire you to keep fighting on this journey. Let's conquer the journey together. And here's your host, Casey Zeman.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Impact Warrior. We're so pumped. I'm so pumped for our guest today. She's with us and she is an Easy Webinar customer. She's just pure awesome. And she actually came and spoke at our Easy Webinar Summit, and she was just like shared so many valuable nuggets that I just wanted to have her on with you guys. So this is Carla Sanchez, and she's an online business coach. She's a speaker. She's a life coach. She's done NLP training. She's a wife and a mom. I mean, you know, that's I connect with her on so many levels here. And she developed a program called Oro Puro, sorry, which means basically pure gold. And it's the online program basically helps people monetize their online course. And she helps coaches, advisors, therapists, consultants scale their business by creating their first successful digital program based on transformation, not information, which I love that because that's really needed nowadays. You know, it's not so much, there's so much information out in the world today that this is so needed. And Carla's just been someone who I've seen in our community, really leveraging the power of webinars. So I really wanted to kind of just dig in and start to talk to you, Carla. First off, welcome. How are you?
Thank you. It's an honor to be here, Casey. I love Easy Webinar. I love all of you guys. You've become part of my strategy. So you're part of my family. And I appreciate everything you do for the world out there, really. So thank you.
Well, back at you. Obviously, you know, like our mission is to help people that are change makers create more impact in the world. And you're doing it. You have a ton of women coaches who are in your program. As you said, like people that are, therapists, experts, coaches. And, you know, I want to dig in, you know, part of this podcast is we start kind of from the beginning of like, why did you create this business in the first place? So like, what was the impetus to build this? And part of the idea is like, we break down all the walls. So we kind of show the good, the bad, and the ugly, you know, like, hey, you know, this is why I created it, because, you know, I needed to do this for my family. Like, I'd love to know your story. You know, I know you help therapists. Were you ever a therapist, or, you know, where does that come from?
No, I was never a therapist. I just felt like my niche, the group of people that I wanted to work with were people that could create an impact in the world, because yes, I'm going to be the root of their online course, but they're going to multiply the impact if they help more people. So coaches, therapists, people that help other people transform an area of their lives, was my focus. And I just realized I couldn't help everybody. I'm a life coach. And I made that mistake of trying to help everybody at the beginning. Remember those days, Casey?
Yes.
Yes. And then realizing very soon that I couldn't help everybody. So, you know, I went in and worked really, purposely and intentionally to find out who really I wanted to help so that they could help more people.
Yeah.
There you go.
I don't know if you've ever read this book, but Obviously Awesome by April Dunford speaks just specifically to this idea of positioning and finding the people that you want to serve and why you want to serve them, right? And not being that, as you said, life coach to everybody, but more so focusing on that one subset of people. This book is really great because it really helps you to practically nailed this concept down. So I love that you said that. And that's probably also a testament to your success thus far, is that you found that group, that niche,
Yes.
and you started to grow and curate that specific group.
Exactly. And this is something I teach and I highlight on my program, because it's actually, I say, if at the beginning of the course, if you don't do this, you're not going to be successful online, because there is, a lot of noise out there. There is a digital noise. There's a lot of experts, a lot of people that know how to do that, know the formula, the strategy, the, and then, if you don't find a way to separate yourself from what's out there, then it's going to be really hard for you to be positioned as an authority. In my case, I help people in Spanish. So I help women coaches, women therapists in Spanish. So in my niche, I was able to position myself pretty quickly. I mean, it took me, over a year to become, somebody that people trust and pay thousands of dollars to work with. And that's not common in the Hispanic culture. And the reason why I started this, Casey, is because a long time ago, I was an actress and a spokesperson. All of that is serving me so well now with the reels and Instagram, by the way.
Absolutely.
But I realized that work was not fulfilling at a service, spectrum. I wasn't really serving people. I was making good money. I was having fun. But there was a point in my life where I said, okay, I need to leave a legacy here, and acting in a commercial for, whatever, Home Depot, it's not going to get me there. Right. So I started to have this feeling of like, how can I create more impact in the world? And I've always known that I was born with the gift, which everybody, by the way, is born with that gift, whatever gift it is that you were born with. I just realized that I needed to share that with the world. And not a lot of people get there. Not a lot of people think they have something to share, even though we all do. Mm-hmm. So that happened to me. And I realized, okay, it's time. And I started working and digging really deep in myself, within myself, because I believe that is the reason why I'm successful now. It's because it wasn't about strategy. It was about finding who I really was as a human being, and strengthening my, my strengths, working on my strengths and realizing that if I had some fears out there, just working through them. If I had limiting beliefs, which I still do, we all do, triggers that come up at different times in my business, I just go and work with it and work, within, because I feel like that is the main reason why people are successful or not, so.
I love that you said, first off, all that resonated so much, because like, we're always doing work, right? We're always doing work on ourselves, and we're always trying to find like, what's, I think about this all the time. Like, what legacy am I leaving? What legacy am I leaving? What legacy am I leaving?
Yep.
And it's interesting because you balance out the legacy you want to leave, the impact you want to leave, as well as like the fun that you, the enjoyment, the energy you want to put into certain things. Like I you're talking to a person that was an actor as well.
No way. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. I don't know if I guess it was in my webinars for a while that I was, that I was an actor. I was
my goodness.
And as an actor, here because I'm in LA here, right? And most of my friends are actors, and so I know the industry. I know directors, writers, blah blah blah. I know them all. But like when I was an actor, I loved acting. I loved the craft of it. I was terrible at business, so I was not that good at navigating the system of it. But I realized after a while that acting was so self-indulging to a degree, because I was always thinking about me. I was always thinking about, you know, what did I have to do to make like my body better, or, you know, get ready. And it felt very selfish. And it felt like it wasn't, hey, I'm doing this to create this impact, right? So
Right.
I was doing the acting thing almost like I had to be this this perfect like actor specimen person that would like be perfect for this particular job or that particular job. And I felt very much in a box. And so when I was trying to obviously build this business, I stepped into something where I was thinking more on the outside rather than the inside. So acting to me for a while was very selfish because I was thinking about, you know, I was so, you know, self-conscious and thinking about all the things I need to think about. But then when I started to think about business and started thinking about how I can create impact and thinking about others, is when I was starting to think about what kind of business can I create to help people. And it's very
Yeah.
interesting because now I still think about the whole acting thing. I have tons of friends who are obviously still doing it, but now I'm thinking about different acting projects or different projects in general. But now thinking about, if I had looked back then at how I can think about projects as it's bigger than me, you know, then it's almost like that's how I create impact, right? Like
Right.
nowadays, my North Star is wanting to help change makers create impact and helping people realize their identities matter and who they are matter. And so any project, any direction, any product I create, software I create, teaching I create, you know, like let's say short form content or movies I invest in or anything, I see it in that direction. So it's much more socially driven. It's much more
Yeah.
driven beyond my own selfish needs. But there is something to be said about, you know, knowing, having your internal desires of success as a part of that mixture that then
Sure.
can elevate other people as well. And I think if we can
Exactly.
have those together, where it's not so,
Yeah.
it's not just the selfish thing and also the self-conscious thing, but more of the selfishness being success of this
Yeah.
working, but the bigger picture of it being a legacy that will help others, it will drive that ship forward more. And so I just love
Yes.
that you said that you know, kind of why you stepped out of that world, because it resonates so much with the reason I kind of stepped out of that world as well.
Yeah, definitely. I also think it has to do with abundance. When, you know, the more you serve the right people
Mm-hmm.
and you get paid what you deserve, then that's, you know, it's an abundance cycle. I think if people come into this business just to make money, they're could be successful, but it's not going to happen in the long run. I think,
Right.
you know, abundance and money, it's energy. And I think, you know, when you put out really good work and good impact, then people just, you know, resonate with that and will pay you to work with them so that they can do, you know, they can model what you're doing basically. So yeah. So that's what we're doing now. We're communicating to a specific kind of woman, which I didn't have at the beginning of my business. And now it's like, okay, you know, because they enter into a relationship with me for 12 months. My program is a membership for 12 months. So, you know, when they leave my program, they leave as a different woman and we become friends. And I want to be able to feel like I'm enjoying my time with them. And now I'm in a position where I can actually filter people and say, you know what, this is not going to be a good, we're not going to be a good team. This is not going to work. This relationship is not going to work. It's not you, it's me. You know, because I mean, I realized that I want to help those people that are in the right path, you know, with the right focus, with the right mindset, and, you know, triggers and fears and all that happen in the, you know, in the process, but just those women that are ready to make that impact. Yes.
Yeah. It has to fill your cup too. Again, I think that's where I feel like the theme of this call is this conversation is like this balance between having, knowing that the legacy you want to leave should create an impact to help others and create something, but at the same time, you have to feel like the energy, your cup is filled, like you're getting the energy back.
Yes.
It's because if it's not, then it's burning you out, and you're not gonna be able to create the impact if you're burnt out, right? So it's like,
at the end of the day, the question is, are you happy? Are you happy with what you're doing and how you're helping people? Are you happy with the people that you work? And I always tell my clients when they come work with me and we're figuring out the niche down, I always say, okay, are you happy working with this type of people? Do they need you like to solve a problem, and can they pay you? If one of those questions is a no, let's go somewhere else. This is not the niche for you, because those are very important, and I think that's the most important thing of niching down is it's not just because, oh, I see an opportunity here to make a lot of money, but these people suck my energy. Yep. That's not the right path. So,
Yeah, again, totally. And I think people, they kind of trip over those moments and have to make those mistakes on their own sometimes. Like,
oh, yes.
And I know I have, and I'm sure you have.
Yeah.
But like for them to know that that's the direction, that's a place you want to get to. And when you can get there and you're coveting your moments, your precious time, the energy that you give to somebody, you're coveting that more. You're going to give the right people the right abundance for them to be able to do more and to have success in their life, and that will fill you, and that will keep you energetic and moving forward. And I think that's so powerful. And I think you're right. The positioning matters, because the more you craft your positioning, the more you get to that person, that ideal person. So, Carla, I wanted to ask you, like, you said it only took you 12 months or a little over 12 months to be able to sort of create this program. Like, how did you, what?
Actually, it was less than that, a lot less than that. 12 months is what people do working with me, because I teach them the whole model. Yeah. But it takes them 3 months to get results with me, but I have them for 9 more months, because I know this is just not launching a course and okay, bye. There's so much more to that. And that. Mm-hmm. In my case, I'm going to share with a little story. Yes, that was my before and after. So 2019 was a very insightful year for me. It was a year that I worked so much. Okay. I decided that I wanted to be an event producer, a live event producer. Okay. The year before COVID. Mm-hmm. And I did 4 events. They took my life away. Like, I mean, have you ever done an event before? Like producing an event, a live event?
Not to that degree. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But,
so imagine a digital product launch mm-hmm. times 10.
Wow.
Life. Okay. It's like, it was just crazy. And I don't know what got into me, but I know why, because I needed to live that experience to now be where I am. Yeah. So I worked so much. I mean, after launching an event, like a live event, and after, having it, I needed like 2 weeks to recover, like emotionally and physically, like energetically wise. It was just so draining. Yeah. And this is the part when December 13, 2019, amazing event, 300 women, 100 sponsors, like incredible, like beautiful event, everything. I go to my bank account and I am minus 100. Okay. Like this event cost me so much money. Even though I had sponsors, even though I had 300 people, I didn't make any money. And at that moment, I went into depression, and I was like, okay, I am doing something really wrong here, and I am going to turn that around and make it something really good for my life. So, January 2020, I was so determined. I was like, whatever it is that I need to do, I'm going to do. And I did everything. Okay. And I'm talking, working on myself within, meditating. I mean, I'm not going to tell you all the things I did. If somebody told me you need to put a chicken on the side and like put some cayenne pepper and like turn around and
to be able to
and jump back. And I mean, everything that people told me to do, I did. Okay. Like, okay.
Yeah.
And some things worked and some things didn't, but everything was just so perfect because it made me realize that I was, healing and getting rid of all this limiting beliefs. And there was something in particular that was incredible. And it was a certification that I did for NLP, but it's the new code of NLP. And I'm not going to get into it, like the whole thing, but basically you start working with your unconscious mind at a very deep level. And I went in there, Casey, and I just worked with my unconscious, and now he's my, COO in my business. So I totally gave myself into this, into this thing. And now this is what I use as my differentiator, in my business. I mean, I can give you strategy. Everybody can give you strategy, but not a lot of people are certified in this, process, which is a very high, it's an advanced tool of transformation because you're working with your unconscious mind. So that to me was the point of the breaking point. It was like, okay, this is what's going to make this, happen. And then I hire a mentor. I invested money that I didn't have, put it in a credit card. And 3 months later, after working on everything I did, plus the mentor, I made 4 times the amount of money I paid that mentor. And that was like the beginning of my before and after. So, COVID hit, and I was launching my program. And at that moment, I didn't realize how perfectly timed it was because I was helping. I mean, no live events anymore.
Yeah.
And I was launching a product that was so good. It was going to be so needed. And I didn't see it because everybody was losing jobs. My husband lost his job, like I was like, and this is the first time I'm going to charge like 4 times more than I used to charge in a time where the world is upside down and nobody knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I just went with it. And it's been incredible. I didn't see the need for my program at that moment, but I let myself, just I let within guide me. And this is what happened. So
that's so incredible.
Yeah.
And it's really incredible that a mentor certainly got you onto that path, in terms of like, hey, you're worth this, charge this. I mean, half of it is like, a brain game, half of it is like really starting to believe in yourself, kind of slough off your limited beliefs and everything else that obviously goes along with trying to help other people, the imposter syndromes and everything else that we just take on.
Yeah.
And it's really amazing to see that you had this one event, it's like kind of this storm moment, if you will, right?
Yeah.
Where on the exterior was successful, 300 people, 100 sponsors.
Oh yeah. The pictures and videos can tell you, oh my God, Carla is an amazing event producer. They didn't see my bank account. I wish I could have both, the video and my bank account next to each other and go,
Well, and what's great is that like these are your moments that make us stronger. And obviously in the time, the storm that happened, while it's happening, it's just absolutely terrible, but it's really what what defines us as warriors. You know, I think about the barriers that we break through. Like, you could have folded and shut yourself off. Yes, obviously depression sets in and various other things, but like, you know, if you just let that become your identity, then that's all you're doing, and then that goes nowhere, right? Like, but you said that's not enough, and you were like, I need this transformation so that I can figure out what I can do the next time I'm in this fight, you know. And I always think that we are such resilient things, you know. We can get back up, and I think that the power of hitting obstacles and barriers is that we get so used to hitting obstacles and barriers that that they become less barriers. You know, we get so familiar with the walls, you know, being placed in front of us, that we learn and build a muscle and tolerance to having to break through those walls. So it sounds like that's where, you know, that's what has happened with you. Did your husband, did he recover his job or anything like that? Or did you guys?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's funny because, now he's like, you're making more money than me. How did that happen in a year? And, you know, we've had the conversation of like, well, you might be able to retire and work for me, but he doesn't want to work for me. So no, he was without a job, like actually not so long. It was like just a month, and he was able to find another job. And, you know, we were fine because I was just really building my business. You know, that first year of business, we hit the 6 figures, but not all those 6 figures made it to my, you know, to my pocket. I mean, those expenses, things, I mean, you know, all of it.
Yeah, absolutely. When you're growing, you have to put a lot more money back in.
Right.
And, you know, as someone obviously who's married as well, you know, my wife and I have switched, you know, we've gone up and down, you know, her career, she was, you know, she had Pilates studios here in LA, and I wasn't, my business was kind of growing, hers was up, you know, so there's this ebb and flow, that I think is, it can be there for, you know, for couples and for just people that are in relationships, you know, and it's just being confident and being able to know that those moments will happen, you know, and it's all.
Oh yeah. My husband loves it, by the way. If I, you know, I make more money than him, and he loves it. He's like, I was sending him a message yesterday, because, you know, we hit our goal and we actually surpassed our goal this month, in my business. And, you know, and I sending him the numbers and stuff, and he goes, okay, I'm retiring, you know. I mean, he's not going to retire, but,
he's,
you know, it's that fun, like,
he builds you up.
Oh my God. And he would never, and I am so grateful to our relationship, because he would never feel, you know, threatened or less because I'm making more, or, you know, he actually loves it. He's like, you know, great. I mean, now you can do this and that and the other. So it's, you know, it's wonderful. I did have some relationships in the past that I know wouldn't have reacted this way. Let me put it like that. That's why I'm married to this one and not to those.
100%. Yeah. We need people that will, you know, that where we will be their encourager, right? Like, everybody, like, that's the relationship should just make you stronger and be a part of your, you can do this, right? And so, so that's awesome. And then, as someone who's like, you know, recognized past relationships not being that, it's really good that you found your person who is like that, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. I don't know how this turned into a couples, a relationship podcast, but because, you know, but I mean, I think actually, I'm going to say, when there was a moment in my life, you know, when I met him like 11 years ago, my focus at that time was to find, you know, my partner, my husband, the father of my kids, you know, and at that moment, I wouldn't have been successful in my business because that hole needed to be filled. Then I became a mother, and that hole needed to be filled. And then when all that happened, now I can focus on my business. And now, I'm creating this, amazing thing. But I think, and this happens at various stages in different areas to different people, but to me, I needed to have my, my relationship settle, like that part of my life, working fine. And then, motherhood, and now I'm I'm an entrepreneur and a business owner, a CEO. My team is over 10 people, so it's like, it's great to be able to wear those hats and balance it all out. Not saying that it's wonderful and easy at all times, because it's not. There are times that I'm doing something different and I need more time, and my husband is taking care of dinner, where in the traditional way, it's the woman that does that part. And, we have such a relationship that, he has to wear that hat, and he'll do it.
Yeah. You kind of like those constructs, those old constructs are broken down. Like,
exactly.
And I get that. My wife and I split. We don't have caregivers anymore. We haven't since like 2018, 19, because of COVID, I think. And so we split. We split the kids. We have 3 kids. We split the time 50-50 type of thing.
Wow.
And and I'm cooking dinner. I'm doing dishes. She's and we just go back and forth, right? So there's
right.
And then it's the team thing. But I love what you said about like, at this time, this is kind of what I needed to fill myself, like what I was needing at the time that I needed it.
Yes.
And I think we go through these seasons, like for me, I couldn't think about having a creative venture like producing a movie or producing a show or doing content. I couldn't have had that, when I gave up acting, right? Like it was like when I gave up acting, or when I stopped acting, I should say,
right.
Several years ago, it was to figure this thing out, right? And I needed to apply time to this thing so that I could grow it and give it love and appreciation and nurture it, which now has given me the opportunity to think more around, I could do this or I could do that, right?
Right.
And so I think there are seasons that we all that we just have to honor, and we want to try to do everything, but it really is about allowing yourself to go through those different seasons, right? To carve out, your life, right? Like
definitely
every part of what you're doing right now. You have kids, yes?
I have one son. We stopped at one. My hats off to people that have more than 2. So that's you. My congratulations. I don't know how you guys do it. And I'm 44. So, I just, it's not that I couldn't, because basically I feel the healthiest I've ever been, but I just don't want to. And, I don't want to go through that again, put my body through that again. And I have different priorities now, and my son is amazing. I'm going to be the best mother for him that I can be. But I stopped at 1.
Well,
that was my story.
Because, but that's, you're leaving a legacy through your son, and that's a level of impact that we don't really think about, the micro legacies that we're leaving based on like, maybe you're teaching your son about how to do what you're doing, like financial literacy, being able to say like, you as an entrepreneur, you're leaving those nuggets of entrepreneurship and being a model right now.
Yes.
And being a model leaves that imprint, and that's one lane of legacy that you're doing. And then you of course have all the other lanes. And so I just think about those things that, as people that have a drive, we want to do so much, but we're all,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes we have to take stock in the fact that we are doing so much. We have done so
Exactly.
much, you know, and we just use that as our North Star or our beacon for doing more. Um, so can I ask
I'm gonna add just one more thing to that.
Yes.
This year I'm gonna share with you and your audience that this year my biggest goal
Yeah.
was to work less, make more money, and create a bigger impact. So I've never before in years past have put the goal of like working less to make more, you know, like to create more impact or make more money.
Right.
But this year I realized that I wanted to have more time for myself, my family, my friends, and I wanted to create making a bigger impact. So I think, you know, the first years of business, it's difficult to do that. But when you get to a point where you can go, oh, you know what? I'm actually going to take you know, a different seat and kind of just from here, make things happen and not have to be like all the time in the driver's seat, but just letting people do whatever they're best at. And that was a big thing for me to learn to delegate. And now I'm like, you know, I have the eye and the training, to pick the right people for my team. So so that's going to help me to get there, to get to my goal. So
well, that's what I was going to say, the possibility, like what you're working on, what you're excited about. And it sounds like, you know, having those goals of like working less, generating more revenue, more profit, and making a bigger impact. Those are, sounds like those are the things you're working towards.
Yes. Specifically speaking, we have teams. I mean, you know, meetings every couple of weeks. And I go, okay, what's working and what's not? And what's working, we're going to double down on. And what's not, we're going to just put it aside. So what is the simplest way to make more by working less? And that's our theme. Every single meeting, we have a meeting tomorrow, and I was just telling the team, you know, come with numbers, because I just want to start making decisions. And I'm going to tell you a decision I haven't even told my team yet. So I'm going to tell you. And we're not going to do the blog anymore, because the blog is not bringing me one single client. And that's taking, you know, hours of my team to put together, to do the video, to do the this, the that, you know, the designing, the whatever, and then to promote it and all that. I'm like, those hours, we're going to take those hours and put it on what's working. So, you know, so that's anyways, that's my biggest thing this year. Simple to make more and create a bigger impact.
Yeah. And I love that. I mean, I think you have to do the things that actually get a result, right? And there's long-term strategy that you know goes along with something like blogging, you know, SEO strategies and things like that. But how active are those strategies to getting a customer or client? And that's really
today.
100%.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I was considering the YouTube strategy, you know, because I've been doing YouTube videos for, you know, over 2 years. And it's slow, but I've gotten sales from that. You know, I've gotten sales from, oh, I saw your YouTube video and that really like clicked and connected. And I made a call and I, you know, and now I'm your client. So that I have the numbers and the data to go, you know what, it's a slower than the other strategies we do on Instagram or whatever else we do, all the other strategies we do, but it's bringing me numbers, you know, it's worth it to me. But the blog, no. So, you know, the blog, we leave it there when we have a lot, you know, like I can bring in an expert on SEO and help us with that. Great. We'll do that then. But now it's like just focusing on the strategies that work, that give us the numbers.
I think that's a really smart way to do it, especially, you know, as something you're bootstrapped, right? So you're growing this thing, you're spending money on it, you know, putting money back. You don't have investment dollars into growing your company, right?
Right.
And likewise for me, you know, so I had to think about like in that way when growing my business. You know, I had to think about okay, what's the cost of everybody, and how am I going to be able to really balance that out?
Yeah.
And you have to think about those things. And eventually, yes, maybe those strategies can come into play, but not right now, right? Right now,
Mm-hmm.
this is where you need to lean in. And so I love the idea of you saying, like, here's a great example. You could always make more money, but will your profit be better? Like
Right.
we
Mm-hmm.
made more money, let's say in 2015 and 16 than 2017 and 2018 in terms of
Mm.
total revenue, right?
Right.
But our
But
profit
profit.
margins, our
Mm-hmm.
profit was like maybe 20, 30, 40% higher.
Oh, yeah. Right.
And it's due to the fact that we were doing actions that were producing greater revenue streams, but it was also, we were putting more money down into
Yeah.
those revenue streams, and so
Yeah.
that therefore we had less. So we made, as an example, we were doing affiliate marketing, at those
Mm-hmm.
times. We were paying more affiliates. Well, I decided I wanted to try to get this platform to be, I wanted it to be able to grow without affiliate marketing. So we went into every other marketing stream except affiliate marketing in
Mm.
2017 and 18. And we made less, but we generated more profit. And then
Mm.
by that time, we got really good at that marketing channel of being able to generate our own revenue through advertisement or social media channels or what have you. And then we went back into the affiliate marketing game. So I feel like there's always a season, and when
Yeah.
you double down, as you just said, on the things that are working, get rid of the things that aren't, and more will come in. You'll see those points of growth. So
Exactly.
uh, so we're kind of running out of time, but um, you know, I, I, I wanted to kind of ask you this, like, so what three things have been really helpful for you to grow? Like three, if you had to name three things that have helped you create more impact, and really push forward as a change maker. Like, what are those three things? If you could,
Okay.
distill
Well,
them
one
down.
of them I already told you, it was the work with the unconscious, which
Mm-hmm.
sounds woo woo, but it's really powerful and incredible. And it's been a before and after. So that's the first thing. Then in our business, we started using persuasive copy, which it's a concept that's, kind of new, if you will. And I mean, it's been just incredible what
Wow.
we've been able to do with talking the right language to or for the right people.
Mm-hmm.
That has been incredible. And then the third thing, if I had to choose, it would be to automate processes. And in there, I'm talking about, not only funnels and webinars and all that, yes, that we already know, but also this last year, we introduced text messaging and WhatsApp messaging. So a lot of our communication for book a call reminders or the reminders for the webinar, or, all the other reminders in our business for our possible prospects and closings, we have transferred from email to SMS and WhatsApp. And that has been incredible. I mean, the numbers tell you, I mean, there's a 15 to 18% average of, open rates, and then a 1.3% click-through rates, right? On an email campaign.
Right.
But then on a SMS or WhatsApp, it's 95% open rate and 59% click-through rate. Yes, I will take that, so that has been great for us. And so those are the three things I would say have been great in my business to scale and go to the next level.
That's amazing. Thank you for those three. Those are very specific. I love it. So you did the transformation, you had the persuasive copy, and then you did like the, more automated marketing channels such as WhatsApp and SMS, beyond just the email stuff. So great. So Carla, where can the audience kind of find you? I know, carlasanchez.com, I think is what you have, right?
So carlasanchez.net is my website, but I just stopped logging, so don't go there. Don't go there now because I just made that decision. Don't make me regret it.
Yeah.
So
you have like a URL where they would want to like, or Instagram or like.
Yeah, Instagram. Honestly, I'll tell you, Casey, 90% of my sales come from Instagram. We're just going to start a Facebook strategy this year, but we don't have numbers yet. That's just a new strategy because we have dominated Instagram so much that we're now transferring to Facebook. But Instagram is the way to go. And in Instagram, you have a link to all my stuff. Again, I only talk in Spanish. My messaging is in Spanish, but if you want to check it out, it's Carla Sanchez official, but it's official in Spanish, which means there is no double C. So so just put Carla Sanchez and then I will probably come up.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And we'll share the Instagram link, of course. And I'm gonna have to talk to you about your Instagram game. I'm gonna talk to you. We're gonna, not here, guys, but we're gonna have our own conversation about the Instagram game. So because I'm looking at doing a couple things in Instagram, so I want to get like.
Oh, Casey, I have so much to tell you about Instagram. We might need a whole nother hour just to give you all my. And we just started doing something that's just blowing, everything through the roof. So yeah,
oh gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna chat. You and I are gonna chat about this. But guys, thank you so much. And Carla, thank you for the time today. For just being amazing, sharing your insights, your knowledge, how you're creating impact in the world. We appreciate. We love you at Easy Webinar. So just keep on doing what you're doing. And thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you. It's been such an honor, Casey. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you, guys. We'll see you soon.